Hello and welcome to Business Incorporated. Many thanks for joining us. I am Bolaji Akinwale. Coming up, President Muhammadu Buhari unveils the petroleum sector roadmap. Gulf Cooperation Council adjusts fiscal policies. And experts prefer solutions to economic challenges in Africa. Okay, let's begin with the unveiling of the petroleum sector roadmap. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari says that the country's oil sector remains the enabler for budget and overall economic revival. President Buhari was speaking today at the official unveiling of the new 7 big wins of reforms put together by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Speaking to the new framework, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, says that the new process will help Nigeria create a new oil economy. According to Dr. Kachiku, the government plans to review fiscal structures of the oil and gas industry and raise nearly $25 billion in the short-term loans to fund investments in the sector. Now, Boss number 5 is Channel's Business News editor, and it joins me from Abuja attending that meeting. Bosun, good afternoon. Okay, if you have Bosun online, can you talk to us about issues raised at the unveiling as regards the new oil economy?
Well, the key conversation, very brief ceremony, about an hour and a half, focused on what these 7 big wins, or what you call the 7-point agenda for revamping the oil and gas industry is concerned, pending the time that the petroleum industry bill will be sorted out by the legislative, which is the National Assembly. But what the federal government is doing at the executive branch was to roll out 7 critical areas that the junior oil minister referred to as Nigeria's defining moment, whether it will be business as usual or the need for a radical change. In summary, what it means is that Nigeria will remain to focus on the oil sector, and that there's little that the economy can do in terms of revival without revamping the oil sector. So it looks like Nigeria, whether diversifying into mining or into agriculture or into other areas, Nigeria will have to depend on the oil sector, and that's what the president also reaffirmed. Was there any timeline given for this, whether to short to medium term, apart from the fact that there is a plan to raise $25 billion in short-term loans to fund investment in the sector? What period, how many years are given for this project? Now, that's a very good question. This is a 2015-2019 framework. In other words, it was called a short and medium-term priority. So that means that from September last year, 2015, when the discussion started, when Dr. Ibe Kachiku was the group managing director at the NNPC, till 2019, at the end of the Buhari's administration, that was what this framework covers. And that means that it's a short to medium-term framework that the government hopes will revive Nigeria's oil sector and position it as a critical enabler to revive an economy that is flagging across all fronts. The GDP is down. The country has a shortage in revenue. By 2018, for example, Dr. Kachiku says that militant activities in the Niger Delta would have gone down to 0. So the government hopes that security in the Niger Delta would have been sorted out, that Nigeria can ramp up from 2.2 million barrels per day to 3 million barrels per day. And the $25 billion you talk about will be part of what the government hopes will be able to kickstart investments in the oil and gas sector, as well as the refining production capacity locally to move things forward. Thank you so much for your analysis there. Thank you so much, Bosun Mafai, for your time with us on the show. Bosun Mafai is Channel's Business News editor. He was at that unveiling of the petroleum sector roadmap. Still talking markets now. Let's move on to see how the bosses around the world are faring. And we started from Asia, where the numbers were mixed, with energy
playing in the region under pressure after oil prices extended the losses during the U.S. session. In Australia, the ASX 200 closed down 1.2%, with most sectors staging low. Japan's Nikkei 225 finished down 0.32% at 17,336.42, while across the Korean Strait, the Kospi advanced 0.51% to 2,024.12. Hong Kong's Hang Seng slipped 0.93% in late afternoon trade. And China's mainland shares finished modestly lower, with the Shanghai Composite down 0.13% at over 3,000 points, while the Shenzhen Composite finished near flat at 2,068.08. In Europe, stocks were higher in mid-morning trade as investors focused on earnings and new data, but continued to fret with rising concerns that OPEC countries would not reach an agreement over a production cut. Now let's bring in Conrad Bilson, DWTV financial correspondent from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, as he sheds more light on the happenings at the European markets. Conrad, it's good to have you on the program. Now, our top story today is Deutsche Bank surprise earnings that was released today. Now, the bank posted an unexpected profit and set aside more cash to cover litigation costs amid talks aimed at settling mortgage securities probe with the U.S. authorities. Talk to us about this.
Well, it's a very positive surprise that Deutsche posted a gain of nearly 300 million euros. Most analysts for Deutsche Bank had predicted that it would report of an estimated amount of 600 million.